Breaking overnight, deputies opened fire at the end of a chase through Fort Bend County.
I'm live with how this all played out and what we know about the suspect.
But it was a gruesome sight.
It's the question on everyone's mind. Is the search for Malia Davis over?
A warning from Boeing. I'll explain the issue that could impact your travel plans.
Hot and humid today, but we do have deep tropical moisture on the way. I'm walking you through that timeline.
Plus, we try to understand Houston's strangest street names. Our Tina Ogu takes a look in this week's That's So Houston. Live from the KHOU 11 studios, H-Town Rush starts right now.
Just another manic Monday.
That's right. First up at 6, happy Monday. First of all, we know it's tough to get up and jumpstart your week, which means a lot of you will turn to coffee.
But how many cups do you need to wake up every day? Tweet us using the hashtag HTownRush. In a few minutes, I'll tell you how many cups you can get away with according to one study, the latest study. Last week it was a different number.
Yes.
Get away with before what?
Well, before your head
It's
explodes.
detrimental. Yeah.
Okay, that's an important sentence. Yeah.
I miss coffee so much. I miss espresso so much.
You and me both.
Right?
I think I was up to about 3 lattes a day. So
Yeah.
it was really hard to cut
Cold
back.
turkey.
I know.
I know.
It's so hard. Oh well, price you pay.
There you go. Getting started with the Rush Block. What do we
Okay,
have?
let's do. We are talking about heat, humidity today, but we will be dealing with rain chances really picking up as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. So a live look outside, we've got clouds in place, a little glimpse of your sunrise this morning, temperatures in the mid 70s, and really that humidity this morning, you can tell just with the clouds in place, that'll continue for your afternoon. So warm, really hot later today, 96 this afternoon, feeling though between about 100 to 105. So pool, beach, just trying to keep it cool. We are under an ozone watch. I'll show you that here in just a second, and moderate levels with your pollen. This is the big weather story for the week though. This disturbance sitting in the southernmost portion of the Gulf is going to send a wave of tropical moisture our way Wednesday into Thursday. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit, Steph.
All right, Cheetah, on cup number 3 right here in traffic. Hopefully you're just starting your first cup and on your way out the door. We are looking great on this Monday, back to work Monday. I do have a couple of things going on in and around the North Loop. So we are still dealing with a breakdown here on your North Freeway. Northbound lanes, one consumed with this car that came to a stop at the North Loop. And I'm going to look at that traffic hazard in just a second. That was just east of there. I'm going to show you a live camera in just a second. Your drive is still a very nice one out of Katy. 63 miles an hour is that average pace into downtown. And then as I step out of the way, help finally arrived. Took 20 minutes, but luckily we didn't end up seeing this stall turn into an accident. I was a little bit worried on that southbound side because it's in the left lane, but luckily tow there to save the day. Lisa.
Okay, Steph, thanks. Let's get to our Michelle Troy right now. In the Richmond area with some breaking news, a Fort Bend County deputy opens fire on a suspect after a pursuit. Michelle, how did all of this start?
Well, Lisa, deputies just cleared the scene moments ago, but this was one crazy situation. They say they were called out here after a woman was hit in the head by another woman with a hammer. That woman then fled, leading deputies on a high-speed chase that ended with her getting shot in the chest after they say she tried to run them over. And it ended here along this Waterview Estates Trail neighborhood on West Belford. Now take a look at the scene from earlier. That's the woman's gray Chevy Camaro surrounded by deputies' SUVs. So how did it come to this? Well, investigators say the chase started just after 10:30 last night near Crab River Road and Highway 99. Eventually, deputies deployed spike strips to stop this woman, who we're told was going more than 100 miles per hour. And that's when deputies say she started driving the wrong way and ran into the back of one of the deputies' SUV and then tried backing up into another. That's when one of the deputies opened fire, hitting her in the chest. Now, that woman was taken to a hospital by helicopter, but believe it or not, investigators say she has already been released. Now, she is, of course, facing a slew of charges, including aggravated assault against a peace officer and evading arrest. As for her victim, well, fortunately, she's okay. She's also been released from the hospital. Now, we asked investigators what sparked all of this. They believe this was an argument over money. Lisa?
Actually, Michelle, I will take it from here. Thank you. Here are the other big stories we are following for you this morning. We're waiting on medical examiners to determine if the remains found in Arkansas belong to 4-year-old Malia Davis. Malia's stepfather, Darian Vance, told Quanell X he dumped the body on the side of the highway near Hope, Arkansas. Tim Miller of EquiSearch says the remains were left in a plastic bag and had been run over by mowers. Miller says he believes it's going to be impossible to determine a cause of death, but he's sure the body belongs to the little girl.
I think it's going to match kind of some clothing and some other things there that, that was found. So I think it's, I'm 99.9%.
The medical examiner says it will take some time to identify the body.
Let's get out to London now, where President Trump just arrived ahead of his state visit. Here's what is planned for that visit. Tonight, the President and First Lady will attend a banquet hosted by Queen Elizabeth. Then tomorrow, President Trump will meet with British Prime Minister Theresa May and business leaders. And then on Wednesday, he will head to Normandy to mark the 75th anniversary of D-Day. This morning, we're learning more about Friday's mass shooting in Virginia Beach. The gunman turned in his letter of recommendation on Friday, hours before the shooting that killed 12 people at a municipal building. That shooter died after a shootout with police. His personal records show no disciplinary actions or issues. City offices will be closed today. Your Rush Block continues now with the day's other big stories, starting with the 10-year-old rushed to the hospital after a crash in East Harris County. Investigators say the boy was riding a four-wheeler when two cars ran a stop sign. The second one hit him. Witnesses say a woman got out and ran and was arrested. No word on the child's condition this morning. A forklift accident kills a man in southeast Houston. Police have not said how that accident happened. OSHA investigators are now looking into the case. A plume of black smoke drifted into the sky above the LaPorte area yesterday. This video from a viewer shows a fire at the Norion Battleground chemical plant on Independence Parkway. The company tells us no one was injured. The plant makes chemicals for things like rubber and plastics. Today, top officials from the U.S. and Mexico will meet to discuss President Trump's proposed tariffs. He threatened a 5% tax on Mexican imports to block the migrants from Central America crossing the border. The tariffs could eventually reach 25%.
So we think the same thing will happen here, and American consumers will not pay for the burden of these tariffs.
There's a base hit into right field. Coming around third is Straw. Pinder's throw home will not be in time. Straw scores the go-ahead run.
The Stros complete a sweep of the A's. They won in Oakland yesterday 6-4. They take on the Mariners in Seattle tonight at 9:10. That is your Rush Block. Today's big headlines from here in Houston and around the world. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood. You can tweet us with the hashtag HTownRush.
All right, this is just the news you want to wake up to if you have any flights planned this week. More problems with Boeing jets, not just the 737 MAX ones that have been grounded for months. So the company told the FAA that 21 planes most likely have faulty parts in the wing. They're called slat tracks. It says another 112 planes need to be checked because those parts are, quote, susceptible to premature failure or cracks. So those all need to be grounded until new parts can be installed. That should take a day or two. But this is on top of the 179 737 MAX jets that are already parked. Did I mention this is peak air travel season? I think Angie kind of sums up how we all feel right now. Just great. Asan thinks it's time to just throw the whole line of 737s in the trash. The upside, Lisa, as you mentioned in the last hour, was that at least this is an issue that Boeing caught.
That's right.
And there have been no reports of issues. This hasn't caused any crashes or anything like that.
Yeah, we know that the CEO gave CBS This Morning an interview last week saying he would feel totally safe flying his whole family on a 737 MAX, and I wonder if that changes today on the heels of this latest information being released. But they're grounding what needs to be grounded, and that's the good news.
Yeah, but it could impact your flight. Southwest has 3 of these that'll be grounded for at least a couple of days. So if you're flying later in the week, maybe it'll be better. Definitely check with your airline.
That's right.
If you head out today.
Let's get to Cheetah with the one thing we need to know.
Okay, guys, the one thing you need to know, heat and humidity today. All right, temperatures in the mid-90s, feeling though between about 100 and 105 this afternoon. We will talk about that heavy rain threat expected Wednesday and Thursday coming up next up.
All right, Cheetah, one thing you need to know in traffic, we've got a new hazard here. KHOU is pulling up front to take care of this situation, or, well, hopefully pulling up front. Looks like they might be leaving. Okay, well, the help was there. Okay, looks like they might be backing up. This is your southbound side as you head into Greens Point. So if you are heading towards the Beltway, look out right there. Brandy. Hey, Steph, it is coming up on 6:09 on the dot, and it is time for In Other News Stories to help you jumpstart your work week. Could a back crack help smokers quit? Researchers at North Dakota State University think so. They say 13% of smokers who visited the chiropractor quit within a month, while nearly 17% stopped smoking within 3 months. Doctors say kicking the habit helps with muscle recovery. Everyone has a cheat day, but researchers in Spain and France warn when it comes to ultra-processed foods, don't overdo it because you could eat yourself into an early grave. They say more than 4 servings a day of foods high in sugar and saturated fat just increase your chance of a heart attack or stroke by a whopping 62%. Put the Twinkies down. So they say too much of anything, like those foods, bad for you, right? So how does 25 cups of coffee a day sound? Apparently, UK researchers claim it's all good. They studied some 8,000 coffee drinkers and found 24 cups were no worse for your heart than having a cup a day. Scientists at Queen Mary University of London couldn't pinpoint an actual reason, but they say they'd like to look more closely to find a safe limit, and it wouldn't hurt to see what your doctor says first. 25 cups is fine this week. Last week, like 2 cups a day will kill you, so good luck. Just keep it at a nice, healthy 8 cups, and you'll be fine.
There you go.
Right in the middle.
That's right.
Right in the middle.
Time right now is 6:10. A cruise ship collides with a smaller boat, and it's all caught on camera. How this scary crash could bring changes to a popular tourist spot. Plus, do you know how to pronounce Houston's trickiest street names? Our Chinedu Ogu has a geography lesson in this morning's That's So Houston.
Good morning, Houston, and happy Monday. Oh yeah, we are kicking off this year's 15th anniversary Wine and Food Week here in the Woodlands. You don't want to miss it. You're watching
H-Town Rush.